Hey guys, I wanted to share with you a knife purchase I made not too long ago. This is actually my first Microtech. Um, to be honest with you, I haven't really been interested in Microtechs up until this point. A few things which I'll talk about in a minute that I just don't like about them, but this knife here, which is the Select Fire, and this is in a stone wash finish. It has S35 VN steel. Has some carbon fiber inlays there with an aluminum frame. Has an anodized aluminum backspacer. And I believe come in some different colors. I don't know what the variations, whether it depends on the serrated or half serrated, partially serrated, or I'm not sure. Maybe some of you guys know, but I know there's a blue backspacer and possibly a red. But it's a nice knife and quite an interesting looking knife, and that's somewhat the reason this knife drew me in. I just love the shape of it, and as if you've watched some of my other videos, I've had a big interest in Strider knives, and as you can see, there is somewhat of a resemblance to a Strider, especially with this finger choil up top, which I like a lot. Very comfortable, very ergonomic. From what I've heard, this was the beginning of a collaboration between Microtech and Strider that kind of went bad, and Microtech changed some things, and especially the handle shape, and developed the Select Fire. Now, I think whatever went wrong with that collaboration, they must have mended whatever hurt feelings or whatever was going on there, because it looks like they're coming out with a true collaboration. If you can see, I know the prototypes are online for sale, and it's very similar blade shape, but with more of an SNG type handle, and it looks like a really nice knife. I really like the Microtech's custom knives. They're extremely expensive and probably overpriced, but their grinds on their customs are really unbelievable. I like them a lot. Don't care to go into that price range though for something like that. There are some things about Microtechs that just kind of bother me. One thing in particular is their proprietary screws. They've got about, this knife has two different size screws there. They don't want you taking this thing apart. They don't even want you adjusting it, and which is a bummer, because I think most people that are spending, new, these are $300, around $300, I believe. They've just announced that they're being discontinued, so the prices have gone down. You can find these down to around $240, and they come in different variations. Stonewash, they come in a satin blade finish. They also come with the black DLC coated with silver hardware, silver thumb stud and hardware. They also come with a total blacked out version. They have a half serrated and all of those as well. That's one nice thing about Microtech, is they give you a lot of different options as far as different blade coatings and styles and such like that. So I appreciate that. But you do need a special kind of bit to fit in here, and they don't offer it. They don't want you adjusting it, and that's kind of a bummer, because this knife actually has a tiny, I wouldn't call it blade play. It's absolutely solid up and down. There's no doubt about it, but there's a little tiny wiggle. Maybe you might want to call it flex in the blade. Now, granted, the knives that I enjoy using right now are Chris Reeve and Rick Hinder, and those knives are rock solid. So I'm comparing them to those. So maybe that's not fair. I don't know, but I think a knife at this price range should not have that. And the sad thing is, I think it could be fixed. I think if I had the right bit for this, I think I could tighten that and get rid of it, but I can't because I don't have it. I have actually found a guy that makes them for about $20. You can get one. So I'm thinking about that if I decide to keep this knife. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sold on it. I like it. I like how it. I like the ergonomics. It's about a 3.5-inch blade. It's really long handle. So if you have big hands, you're gonna like this knife because you can. There's a lot of room on here, but it's not. This is the pocket clip. I'm not a big fan of this pocket clip. You're getting a lot of knife sticking out, and it's such a interesting shape that it's not people friendly if that's what you're concerned about. So you're gonna get some looks possibly from this sticking out of your pocket, but one thing that drew me to this knife in particular is I like the thumb stud. When I saw it online, and for some reason that big thumb stud was very interesting. When you actually use it, though, it's fine to open it nice and slow, and it's not bad. But it takes getting used to flicking it. It's pretty low profile, and doesn't give you a lot of purchase. So it's not the easiest knife to flick. As far as it seems like it slips a little bit. Now I bought this knife secondhand, and when I got it, it was advertised as new, but I noticed there were some slight rust spots on the thumb stud. Now I know Orimoto, who's a YouTuber here, talked about the same thing happening to his. So for some reason, whatever they're using, the thumb stud here, and I don't really remember where this knife was coming from, as far as if it was from somewhere with high humidity or such, but it has seemed to be susceptible to rust. So I polished it off. There's still a little bit of patina there on the thumb stud, but centered blade, was happy to see that. And it's rock solid in there. It's not shifting when in the closed position. Let's compare it to a couple other knives. Move this box. 0561 from ZT, Zero Tolerance. You can see the size of these knives. Pretty equivalent in far as size, but you're going to get a lot more cutting edge with the ZT. This choil here is removing a lot, and basically this knife is pretty handle heavy as far as proportion. It's not quite proportionate to from blade handle, so you're getting more handle than blade. But it's not a small knife. This is a large knife, and I was happy with the grind on this. It's a flat ground, and it's very sharp. They did a nice job, and it actually came to me a little bit on the dull side. But it quickly sharpened up on the Spyderco Sharp Maker. Not a big fan of the way Microtech labels their knives. That's their logo. Not a huge fan of that. I think they could do something a little nicer. They've got a lot of information on there. I like that they have their knives serial numbered. I think that's neat. This one is number 442. 442, and it has the date. It was manufactured August 2011, and the blade steel, which is S35VN. So it's nice, but I think on the black coated blade it's even worse because it's like almost a white, and compared to the black blade, the contrast there just kind of shows up. And I don't know, I'm more of a sterile blade kind of guy. My first choice, but got a little bit of a swedge up at the top. Not bad. The there's something here on the, it's a liner lock, and I'm not going to be able to show you this because I don't have a light, but there's actually a spring in here that keeps this liner from, it gives it tension on there, and it looks like an interesting design, but you know what, I don't know, I don't like a lot of moving parts, a lot of parts that can break on my knives, and the fact there's a spring in there worries me a little bit. It could be a great design, it could, you know, it could be foolproof, but the fact that there's a spring in there that's keeping that liner tight against this tang concerns me in the long haul. But it is well made. It has a nice clack when you open it. The aluminum frame, I think, has something to do with that, and carbon fiber is nice. Everything is pretty well done as far as construction. So if you're interested in a knife like this, you like the looks of it, you don't mind the pocket clip, and you're just going for something really unique, I think it's an interesting knife. I like the design of it. I think it looks neat. Wouldn't mind drawing it. I think it's kind of a cool shape. But you might want to hold off. The Strider collaboration should be out later this year, and the Microtech Strider collaboration, and it's going to be a flipper. So if you're interested in flippers, might want to hold off for that. But if you like this design, I would get one now because the prices are pretty good. You can pick one up because pretty soon they're going to be gone. I suspect that the prices on these are going to go up. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.